Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another book review. Now, we are finally at the end of my Brian McClellan saga. I'm on the final book today. It is Blood of Empire, the third in the Gods of Blood and Powder. Like 3 books in and I'm still struggling what the entire series is called. On the third book of the Gods of Blood and Powder trilogy, which is the sort of kind of the 6th book in the whole Powder Mage series, and it was good. It was really good. I was sad to see this go. Now, full disclosure, I'm actually about a month or so away from having finished this, as I was, if you've watched my last review, I was away for most of Christmas doing a show here in England, and so while I didn't get to do much filming, I'm now doing sort of these reviews a little bit behind the times, so I've had a bit of time to think about these ones, and if I'm honest, they were brilliant. Overall, I've liked the second trilogy more than the first one, I think purely because it got to expand the world more, and that's something I really enjoy. I'm discovering now that I'm doing these reviews, and part of the reason I started these reviews was to discover more about what I actually like, because I like reading, but I wanted to know specifics about what I like, and I found the best way for me to do that is to do these reviews, talk to other people about them, and open myself up to discussion around a book. And I think with fantasy especially, I love the delving into the world and finding more about it, finding more about certain cultures. And I think with this one, it really allowed us to do that. The earlier books, the original trilogy, was very much all about sort of Adro and the other and the enemy, but you didn't really find out about your enemy. Whereas in this, we really got to go, even more so than just the last book, we got to delve more into the Dainese, and even we visited the Dainese in this book. You literally have Ben Stike heading over there and heading to their capital city and sort of infiltrating. And it's really interesting with this book because all of our main viewpoints, so Vlora, Ben Stike and Mikhail, they all of a sudden, they're not able to do what is their sort of MO. They're not able to do what they've been doing in all the other books. And I think that was a bit of a risk from Brian, because that could have really fallen flat on its face. Like, he's taking these characters that we've known for some of them for 2 books, but for Laura especially, we've known her in the original trilogy as well, knowing what they can do and really twisting it on its head. So Ben Stike, he's stuck in the capital city of Dainese. He can no longer just swing his sword and fight his way. He's starting to have to do some political movements and having to sort of hold his tongue, and we really see that maturity of character coming through and seeing how he handles this situation. Mikhail has always been a spy and has been one to sit in the background and sneak through and use his subterfuge to make his way, but all of a sudden he's in a position of leadership. He's having to make decisions that are going to be affecting lots of people, and potentially the loss of life for a lot of people. So he's really having to try and become the leader that he really should be. His character development has come on leaps and bounds from when he was muttering to himself in a warehouse in the first book. And then you've got Vlora, who has one of the biggest changes, who has a crisis of her powers. She's been relying on being a powder mage for so long, and all of a sudden that is, again, minor spoilers here, but it all happens pretty quickly, is stripped away from her. And she is left almost as a normal person. So she is having to lead the people still and do all the things she's usually done, but without her powers, without that thing that has carried her. And can she do that? Is her strength of being her force of character strong enough, or was it her power that gave her this command? And it's discovering whether she can do that. We get, obviously, this is the culmination of an entire series, and we get into that sort of hyper fantasy epicness at the end, where we've got gods stepping into the fray and massive magical battles that. What's quite nice is you've got the weird sort of juxtaposition between a semi-hard magic system and a sort of semi-soft system in that you kind of know roughly how the powder mage, the gunpowder side of thing works, but the whole privileged and blood magic is still quite generic and not quite explained. So we get this sort of weird combination of magic, which I think really worked, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, it had some real pulse pounding moments in the book, and some real heart wrenching moments. I was reading this in the dressing room at the theatre I was working at, and I can remember literally sitting there and gasping. Some of the guys I was acting with being like, You okay? What's happening? What's happening? And they were like invested, because I was explaining to them, oh my goodness, this is what's happening, and this is what's going on. I managed to persuade one of my fellow actors. He's now picked up the series just purely because of my reactions from across the dressing room. So if that's not recommendation enough for this book, I don't know. Now, I think this is not all of the books have been 5 stars just straight out the gate. I think this is a 5-star series for me. I really, really enjoyed it. I'll definitely want to read it again. I enjoyed it more than the first series. The first series was like a 4.5 star for me, and this is stronger, I feel. I think Brian McClellan has developed as a writer, and you can tell he's settled in on some things and honed his world even more. So I think in my original review of the first book, I said, this is 4.5 stars, but if it pays off and delivers on some of the promises it's making it a 5-star. I think it's a 5-star. I really enjoyed this. I'm going to say this is a 5-star, and I'm very, very happy that I have read through this whole book. I was umming and ahhing about doing this side of the series, because initially I was only going to read the Powder Maid trilogy, but I'm really, really glad I did. I would highly recommend this to anyone, especially if you love your historical fictions or your flintlock fantasies or a little bit steampunky-esque type stuff. Go for this bad boy. I love it. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you've got any comments, if you've read the books, please let me know what you thought about them down in the comments. Like and subscribe. I've got loads more reviews coming. And yeah, see you soon.